Hey, Michael, it's Coach Benlin here. Just breaking down some of your swings from our last couple sessions. I put all of my notes into a document that I can send over to you after. I want to start out by going over a couple things I want to monitor and make sure that we're watching them and continuing to develop them. A couple different points of emphasis to use going forward. I have some videos I want to show you from Twitter, and then I'll play through a couple of the swing loops that I have from the last couple weeks. So continuing from our last video, I want to make sure that we're focusing on these three concepts here. I want to make sure that we're getting our front foot down early, making sure we're on time, and then going with hips and hands. Sometimes I feel like you try to start your swing before your front foot has landed. I want to make sure that chain of events is staying in order, right? Front foot down, then hips, then hands, in that order. I want to make sure that we're continuing to finish through contact. We talk about it a lot recently about extending through three baseballs, finishing the path of our hands, right? Getting extended out in front. And then approach stuff, hitting the ball where it's pitched, using the whole field, living gap to gap, line to line, breaking the plate into thirds at three levels, and making sure we're adjusting to different pitches. I have a video of Fernando Tatis kind of showing how that's done as well. I'll go through the loops now, and then we'll talk about some of the things that we are looking at here. So let me pull up some of the loops now. Okay. So overall, I'm very happy with the progress of your swing. I think you're working really hard. I think you ask a lot of questions and you're eager to learn. I think it's paying off for you. As I told you in the last video, the strength will come. Just develop the mechanics and the fundamentals now. Keep learning, develop your own hitting philosophy, and before you know it, you'll have plenty of ideas and ways to self-correct. And I think you're going to turn out to be a great hitter. Let's look at one of these here and kind of go frame by frame. This one's from our last session in early March. Let me open it up. Okay. So there's some mishits in here, but there's some good contact as well. Let's start with the first swing. So here we go. Just going frame by frame here. You're starting in a weight back position. I don't mind that. I think that leads to good habits. No problem at all. As you load, you're drifting back. You're getting into the back side here. We talked about where you should be loading. We'll go into that into a second. Front foot's coming down. You're drifting forward a little bit. Front foot lands. Here come the hips and hands. Hand path is pretty good. Not too low, not dropping the hands. Heads down, which I love. Couple good frames here, right? Couple good frames here, right? Here, you gotta love that frame, right? Knob leading the way, barrel lagging behind. Front legs about to lock right there. 90-degree in the back. Head down, ready for point of contact. Point of contact right here. Extended a little bit out in front. Could do more. We'll talk about it. Front sides locked. Firm front leg. A lot of good stuff here. Couple frames right here. 1, 2, 3. A lot of good things. 1, 2, 3. A lot of good things. So where I think there are, places to kind of improve, I'll pull up the doc and we'll walk through it. So the first thing that I point out is make sure we're loading in the right places, right? We've talked about keeping that back knee inside the back foot, with back knee bend. We talked about in the last video, we talked about in the last couple sessions, but just to review it, and you're doing a pretty good job. I've seen some inconsistency though. Sometimes when you load at this point, when you're drifting onto your backside, sometimes your weight transfers outside of that back foot. And I see you tip over almost to the back, right? As soon as you go outside of that back foot, a lot of that energy is not being stored. So you're kind of living on a fine line right here. Do you see how, and it's kind of technical, but why not learn it now? Do you see how your shin is your knee to heel is kind of straight right here? What we would like to do, let me clear it, talking about back knee inside of back foot, we would love to see the knee and that back leg, the back foot kind of like this way. So the pressure is inside of that back foot, inside of here, not on the outside. You want to build in these locations here. Loading in the right places. We are talking about inside of the back foot right here, right? Inside of the back knee, in the back hip. And you'll really know that that's happening when you feel all of that energy building inside of that quad right here, okay? When that's happening, you'll add more power, the ball will jump off the bat, use that energy you're building when you transfer forward and, make contact and get through the baseball. But make sure we're loading in the right places. Let me clear the screen, go back to the dock, and we'll look at it going forward. I'll play through it one more time. A couple times you tip over on the outside, right there. Watch. Right here, you're kind of good. Knees inside of the back foot, pretty tight, but then watch right there. I know it's small, but you can see that you kind of tip over outside. You see your foot lift off the ground a little bit. The heel is going to lift off a little bit. Make sure that knee is exaggerated inside of that back foot here. Okay, I'll show you a video of Christian Yelich in a minute that'll help. All right, going back to the dock. Pulling the knob, finishing the path of the bottom hand, right? We want to make sure that we're going from the launch position with our hands all the way back and we're getting through the baseball, pulling the knob all the way through, throwing the Frisbee we talk about. I have a video of Jared Kelenic, prospect for the Mariners, doing it. You're going to like that video, I think. But watch the path right here. At this point here, it looks like you're about to pull that knob all the way through, right? You're leading with the knob, which is great. I'd love to see this knob continue on that path because right here, point of contact, watch the top hand kind of dominate from this frame to this frame, right there. Top hand heavy, there's the rollover, right? And from that point, you're going to see a couple of mishits come off the bat, right? I want to make sure that you're going from right here. As soon as you go to launch, this knob is going to travel in this direction, okay? It's going to come here, 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 point of contact, right? Through it, and then 1, 2, 3, and then ultimately up and out, right? Pull that knob all the way through and finish the path of the bottom hand. Going back to the dock. The next kind of point of emphasis I put here is maximizing separation, keeping your hands back throughout the load, avoiding drift and drop. What happens naturally as we track the pitch, we tend to head towards the pitch, right? And our hands come with us. We also tend to let gravity kind of win the battle, let our hands drop down a little bit. We want to make sure we're not drifting forward and that our hands are not dropping down to the ground as we track the pitch, as we wait, right? We want to stay back, hands back. So we want to make sure that we're stretching the rubber band. I've heard it called stretch and burst, right? The load should be stretch all the way, stretch, stretch, stretch. As the pitch comes towards the plate, get ready to burst, right? Front foot down, hips, and then hands. Stretching the rubber band. So if I pull up the video again, watch how, I'll go back in the loop. I'll go to the next swing, hold on. I'll play a couple. I'll show you how you kind of drift forward right here, watch. Into your load, see you're on the outside of the foot again right there? Is that knee inside the back of that foot? It's kind of right there, kind of tipping outside right there, right? Externally. Okay, and as you come forward, watch, ready? Here's the top of your load right there. Top of your load, watch how we drift forward. Let me mark it up, hold on. I'll draw a line. Here's your knob, right? Here's your hands. Let's go forward in the clip. Watch how much you drift forward. As the front side comes down, drift, 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 right here. Then you go to pull, right? Then you go to pull. So your foot lands, toe, and then heel. Toe doesn't mean anything. Heel right there is where we should be getting pressure. So you've drifted this far, right? Are you going to drift naturally? Probably a little bit, but this distance right here, from here to here, is probably a little bit, little bit too much here to here. Okay, we want to make sure that we're closing that gap a little bit, keeping our hands back as much as possible. What we want to do is keep our hands heading in this direction. Hands heading this way, our hands heading that way, and our front side coming down this way, and that's called separation, right? Maximizing separation so that we're building torque, building tension, ready to snap, ready to burst, ready to launch, whatever words you want to use. When that front foot comes down, the heel lands, then come the hip, and then come the hands from that back position. So we're going to maximize separation, stretch that rubber band as much as possible. Let me clear it here and go back to the dock. And the last thing that I put was minimize head movement, right? You're doing a much better job. I could show you two different videos here where on one of them, your head, I'll show you right now, actually. One of them, your head is kind of pulling out. You're not watching the point of contact, and it's, you know, you kind of have inconsistency at that point. So the top left one, I think your head's all over the place. I think you're pulling out, your shoulders opening up, you know, a lot of miss hits here. And the bottom one, which is the latest video, you do a much better job of keeping your head on. And I think the more consistent contact on the bottom is a result of that head movement. Minimize that head movement, keep it locked on. We talk about shoulder to shoulder head movement. What we mean is, and I'll show you in this loop right here, what we want shoulder to shoulder is that you're locked on your front shoulder right here, right? Head's locked on the front shoulder. Here comes the point of contact. Is your head down, witnessing the point of contact? Right there, you're all over. You're doing a really good job of this, right? Especially at your age. Right there, that's a great shot for you. Really good stuff. Is your head finishing on your back shoulder? Yeah, for the most part it is, right? It's going to naturally open a little bit, but you're doing a pretty good job of that. I have a video of Nolan Arenado practicing this that I think you'll like. But we want to make sure that we're seeing that point of contact, tracking the pitch 60 feet, 6 inches, and witnessing that point of contact. So let me get to some of the videos here. The first one I have here is Christian Yelich. I think this is one of the best swings right now. I actually see major differences in his swing right here in this clip, which is recent. This is about a week ago compared to last season. If he sticks with this approach, I know it's crazy to think that he could do better. I think there's a lot of good things here. Watch his hand path here. High hand path, hands across the chest, right? Not lifting the ball, not worried about hitting it out right now. But watch his load. I want you to focus on his load right here. We talk about that lower half, right? We're focusing on back knee inside of the back foot. Watch him as he comes up on the front side right here. Back knee inside the back foot, maximizing the stretch, separation, and then come through. Okay, so watch one more time. Back knee inside the back foot. Front foot's going to land. Watch how far back the hands are. Watch the front foot out in front. Separation, then hips and hands. Now watch the sequence. Front foot down, hips, then hands. Ready? Front foot down, hips come, then hands last. Bang, head down all over it. Here's Nolan Arenado working on a drill that I want you to focus on. Keeping your head down, right? Watch him witnessing the point of contact here. Bang, all over it. Not worrying about where the ball's going, just watching that ball mush into the barrel. This is a drill that I think we should take into our next session with you. If we can do this early, it's really going to benefit you. Tracking at 60 feet, 6 inches, witnessing the point of contact. Can't hit what you can't see. It's all about using your eyes. This one is a Fernando Tatis clip talking about adjusting to different pitches, right? Hitting the ball where it's pitched, the approach piece. Definitely something we need to kind of, get a little better at in the next few sessions with you. The front clip right here, and it's hard to watch all three, is a high pitch up here, high ball, right? Middle in, and then I think it's down and out here. He tries to pull off on it a little bit. Watch it one more time through, but he's adjusting his swing. He's not changing his swing. He's adjusting to different positions here. All about the hands, right? One more time through. The first clip kind of shows it. Watch the front version here. Ready? High ball, hands up, middle pitch right here, and then the down one. Okay. Last, I think I have one more clip here for you. This is Jared Kelenic, #4 prospect in Major League Baseball. And the reason I'm showing this to you is, one, I want to show you the energy that he's generating, right? Watch that load. Knee inside the back foot, generating in the lower half. But I really want to show you the path of the bottom hand here, right? Watch his bottom hand. Watch how it gets back outside of his shoulder. Watch how he pulls the knob with that big up and out finish. Do you have to finish this far back with the bottom hand? No, obviously you don't. But it shows you that we're not going to shortchange that bottom hand path. We're going to let that knob get pulled all the way in front, fully extended before we put it away. Big up and out finish. Okay, so to review here, we want to make sure we're loading in the right places, back knee inside the back foot, right? We want to make sure we're thinking knob, not barrel, pulling the knob through, finishing the path of the bottom hand like Kalanick did right there. Make sure we're maximizing separation. We watched the Yelich video, right? Front foot down, hands are all the way back, right? Pulling that rubber band back before we snap, before we burst, before we launch, right? And then minimizing head movement like Arenado, keeping your head down, witnessing the point of contact. I think the best drill that you can do is to exaggerate the head down like Arenado, hold the pose, hold the finish, right? Watch it, watch the point of contact, get to the baseball, contact, and as you finish the swing, hold it there. Check everything, self-assess, right? Where are my hands? Did I finish the hand path? Am I extended? How's my lower half, right? And then I also think you should continue with the step back drills. The step back drills help you to keep that knee inside that back foot in the load, jump back on it, balance and hold. Jump back on it, balance and hold. Overall, we love what you're doing. We think you're going to have a very bright future here. Your passion and kind of your work ethic is going to carry you right now. We love the process. Keep it up. You're doing a great job, and I look forward to working with you in the next session.